Newcastle United was robbed.
Are you serious?
Disappointing. I think if they're penalties, it's in my opinion bad for the game of football. You know.
Choose my words carefully. Really disappointed by the penalty. Don't feel it's a penalty. I feel it's the wrong decision in that moment in the game. I think there's a few things. I'll talk about it. The speed of which that ball comes up and ricochets and hits Tyno first in the chest, then in the arm, and I feel his arms are in a natural position. So I think it's the wrong decision.
From the VAR exclusive to the Yankuba Minteh masterclass against Athletico Madrid to Premier League rivals eyeing popular 28-year-old Newcastle star in January to Newcastle submitting a shocking £25 million bid for a monster centre-back. As per, let's break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned from PSG 1 Newcastle United 1.
Let's go.
Starting off with the penalty decision.
Tell us what you see.
He can't get it. He tries to play a first-time cross in behind him. It comes off his stomach there and hits him on the arm. There's no way he can get out of the way of it. No, he's going to give it. He's pointing to his arm. It's a disgusting decision. Give it. It's ridiculous. It is a ridiculous decision. It's impossible.
What a joke.
Tim calls it disgusting, and you can hear from all 5 members of our panel all agreeing.
It's rubbish. It comes off the body, but yes, it comes off his body, but his arm is in a natural position for the move that he's making. That's a ridiculous decision. That's ridiculous.
It's come off his chest. He can't move his hand off his body. How can you move your arm when it comes off your body?
Because what they look at is whether your arm's in an unnatural position for the move that you're making. It isn't. He's just running back. The ball cannon's off his chest.
That's up there with the worst I've seen.
That's bad. That's bad.
It's a shocker, says our panel. In fact, I can hear from the production team behind me, I think a riot's about to break out there because they are all absolutely fuming with the decision as well. It's the penalty itself, the decision. Unbelievable. And PSG have been gifted an equaliser there. None of our 5 panellists in any doubt whatsoever that is a diabolical bit of refereeing.
First of all, how disappointing for all of that work that your players put in and exactly how hard they worked and exactly what you asked them to do to be denied those 3 points by a dubious penalty, shall we say. I saw you didn't think it was a penalty. We saw what you said to your players. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, I'm still coming to terms with it, to be honest. Yeah, I feel really flat, but at the same time, very, very pleased with what the players have given today. I mean, you can see the squad is very, very thin. And what the players gave today in the game, their commitment, their execution. Yeah, we rode our luck at times, but I think we deserved that. And we sort of ran out of luck at the end because I didn't think it was a penalty.
We're going to show you it again here so you get a couple more replays and a bit of a closer shot, perhaps. So you can talk us through whether or not that is a penalty for you.
Well, also, what you're not taking into account here, watching the replays, is how quick that ball, it was like so quick live. And it's hit his chest first, and I think that's the key thing. I think if it hits his hands first, I still don't think it'll be a penalty because of the close proximity, but yeah, I think you can make more of a case. I don't think there is a case when it hits another body part first and his hands are low.
Eddie, I don't know if you saw the one earlier on in the game with Miley that hit his quad and then bounced up and hit his arm. VAR had a look at it and decided it wasn't a penalty. The exact same situation, and they didn't give the penalty.
Well, that's a frustrating thing, I think, whether the referees... You know, he's under pressure with every decision here with the crowd, which you might not be aware of at home, that the pressure put on the referee by the crowd was extreme, and, you know, it's the last seconds of the game and he's given it.
I didn't think either of them were a penalty, to be honest with you, and I think you're showing remarkable restraint and fair play to you. I thought it was a horrendous decision, and I don't know how you feel for your players. I thought your players, as you correctly said, gave you absolutely everything. They worked their socks off. You looked at your bench, you couldn't really get any help from me. I understand that, and then to get...
So, yeah. My inner thoughts are obviously...
Leave it to us to get into the end,
because, you know, I share every thought that you have there. And I did think he was having a good game to that point because I think he'd been strong. He'd been strong with the correct decision until this moment, really.
Moving on to Lewis Miley coming of age. Just 3 days after becoming the youngest player to provide an assist for Newcastle in the Premier League, 17-year-old Lewis Miley started the Champions League game for the very first time at the Parc des Princes. Lewis Miley's performance was nothing short of impressive, particularly considering how quickly he has adapted to his role. He showed an ability to replicate Sean Longstaff's runs and provide cover for Bruno in crucial moments. Miley played a crucial part in Newcastle's first goal, making a deep run to create space, which ultimately led to Livramento's Messi-esque run and Isak's goal. At around the half-hour mark, Miley also demonstrated his commitment to the team's cause by putting his body on the line with a brave block to deny Lee Kang-in, preserving Newcastle's early lead. Against PSG, Miley had 44 touches, 5 clearances, 2 blocked shots, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle. However, being a young and inexperienced player, there were moments where his lack of experience showed. In the early stages of the second half, he failed to protect the ball after an ambitious layoff from Isak, resulting in a missed attacking opportunity for Newcastle and PSG, quickly transitioning to win a corner. Despite that, he should be commended for his courage and ability to stand tall in a challenging environment. It is remarkable to see a 17-year-old midfielder confidently bossing around PSG's midfielders, who are worth a combined £150 million. The match meant that 17-year-old Lewis Miley became the third youngest Englishman to start a UEFA Champions League game after Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden. Miley's performance highlights his potential and the promising future that lies ahead for him. His talent, quick learning abilities, and elite potential make him a huge prospect for the future. Then moving on, apart from being a victim to an unfair late handball call. If anything, Livramento was even superb on the night. In the first half alone, Tyno Livramento against PSG had an 86% pass accuracy, 32 touches, 18 out of 21 passes completed, 4 out of 5 ground duels won, 3 out of 4 tackles won, and 1 key pass. Just look at his touch map for that first half. He showed an all-round brilliant performance. Despite playing on the wrong flank, Tyno Livramento showcased his versatility and adaptability in the match. He appeared comfortable while driving forward and combining with his teammates in the interior areas of the pitch. Despite defending on his weaker side, Livramento managed to handle the threat posed by Dembélé effectively. Livramento's ability to adjust to playing on the opposite flank demonstrates his versatility. Despite being in an unfamiliar position, he appeared composed and confident, both in his attacking contributions and defensive duties. During the recent international break, England fans expressed concerns about the left-back position. While Kieran Trippier has filled in there for the national team, observers at the Parc des Princes were presented with another viable option. Similar to Trippier, Tyno Livramento has demonstrated proficiency in both full-back positions. Any doubts about his two-footedness were dispelled by his close ball control during the build-up to Newcastle's opening goal. Additionally, Livramento displayed astute game management when navigating a foot race with Ousmane Dembélé, avoiding a potentially tricky situation. With Ben Chilwell still sidelined and Luke Shaw recently returning from injury, England manager Gareth Southgate has limited options at left-back. Although Livramento has yet to make his senior debut for England, his performances suggest that he is knocking on the door for national team selection. Then furthermore, Newcastle's injury crisis was painfully evident in their match, as they were only able to name 7 players on the bench, and even that number doesn't fully capture the extent of their depleted squad. Among the 7 substitutes, there were 2 goalkeepers, 2 left-backs, and 3 young players with limited senior experience, totaling just 25 minutes. Manager Eddie Howe was aware that the increased number of games during the autumn would pose a challenge for his squad, but this challenge is compounded when injuries prevent him from resting key senior players. In contrast, when PSG made substitutions, they had the luxury of bringing in players like Marco Asensio and Goncalo Ramos from the bench. Given the limited options available to him, Howe chose not to make substitutions, further highlighting the lack of depth. This resulted in tired legs for the starting 11, making their efforts even more commendable, even though they were unable to hold on for all 3 points. An example of a player who displayed resilience amidst the injury crisis was Miguel Almiron. He showed great tenacity in winning the ball and setting up Isak for an early chance. Almiron had a positive influence on the team, providing relief in terms of pressure. He played a crucial role in the opening goal, with his shot being parried into Isak's path. Miguel Almiron's in the first half against PSG had a 92% pass accuracy, 30 touches, 7 out of 9 ground duels won, 3 out of 3 tackles won, 3 fouls won, 2 out of 2 long balls completed, 1 key pass, and 1 big chance created. But however, as the match progressed and Newcastle tired, Almiron's impact faded, as he was tired and he was eventually booked. The injury crisis clearly had a toll on Newcastle's ability to perform at a high level. The lack of squad depth and options from the bench placed additional strain on the players, making their efforts even more commendable given the circumstances. Nick Pope deserves a big shout-out for his performance in goal. He made a crucial stop with his feet to deny Mbappe from close range, showcasing his quick reflexes. Throughout the match, Pope continued to make important saves, including tipping Dembele's shot to safety as PSG pressed for an equalizer, and later in the second half. His highlight of the game was an incredible save from point-blank range to deny Bradley Barcola, preserving Newcastle's 1-0 lead.
Things, and it might be difficult to go over them now because you're so frustrated and it's so fresh. But wow, the likes of Nick Pope and the way that you defended today was incredible. How proud were you of those elements?
Yeah, Nick was very like he was against Milan away, where we really needed a giant performance from him. I think when we went 1-0 up, there was a hope that we could go and get a second. It didn't really happen in the second half. We looked tired. They had a lot of the ball, and then I think the players sort of accepted. We just have to defend well here when we have to protect our goal like our life depends on it, and I thought we did. Nick was a huge part of that as well.
The only blemish on Pope's performance was some questionable distribution from the back. Against PSG, Nick Pope had 6 saves, 2.48 goal prevented ratio, 5 saves from inside the box, 1 high claim, 41 touches, and 12 out of 31 accurate passes. Overall, Pope's display between the sticks was monumental. He made a series of impressive saves and demonstrated his shot-stopping abilities. Although he couldn't quite prevent Mbappe from scoring from the spot, his overall performance was exceptional and played a vital role in Newcastle's defensive efforts.
Nick, congratulations first of all for your performance. You were exceptional tonight. To have resisted up until the 98th minute to concede that soft penalty, it must be incredibly infuriating for you.
Yeah, of course. Overriding emotion and just disappointment. Obviously, when you concede a goal in the last minute to lose the win, it's never going to be a happy dressing room. But obviously, the circumstances around it makes it extra disappointing.
Were you surprised? You obviously had a decent view of the incident. Were you surprised that it went to VAR?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've seen it up close, and obviously finishing the game, seeing it again and again, and yeah, I'm baffled, if I'm honest, puzzled. Not sure how it's come to it, but like massive positives in the game. We were outstanding for long periods, so I've got that to take. And AC Milan next is a massive game.
Yeah, you came here with a plan. You got that goal in the first half. Obviously, I mean, you knew you were going to have to defend quite a lot anyway here tonight, and they really laid siege on your goal in the second half. You had a busy night, personally. Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, right up until the end. Obviously, I felt to save the penalty. I enjoyed it a little bit more. Yeah, it's I said in the press conference yesterday, as a player, for myself, having played in the depths of English football, this is the top stage where you want to play, where you want to perform. So yeah, and part of playing well, I think you want to enjoy yourself. So that's what I try and do.
One brilliant save from Mbappe where he put the rebound just wide in the last minute. Was that your favourite? Have you got any picks of
football? This is the top stage where you want to play, where you want to perform. So yeah, and part of playing well, I think you want to enjoy yourself. So that's what I try and do.
One brilliant save from Mbappe where he put the rebound just wide in the last minute. Was that your favourite? Have you got any picks? Because there were some phenomenal stops tonight.
Still winded by that one, I think. No, hard to pick a favourite. I haven't watched much backs of them. So no, obviously every game we review, so I get to be a pleasing reviewer this time, I think.
You're enjoying your Champions League nights, I think, as a team, and there's one big one left now in the group stage. You've got to go out there, get the job done, and hope for the best. And do you believe in your chances tonight?
Yeah, of course. We're going to have backing from a home crowd. A home crowd's going to be upset of how tonight finished. So I think we're going to be excited for that atmosphere, and yeah, we've got to take it on. We have to do our part and obviously hope for the best.
Another player deserving of recognition is Bruno Guimaraes in the Newcastle midfield. In the first half, he displayed calmness and composure, being a reliable presence in the middle of the field. His ability to resist the opposition's pressing tactics has improved significantly, and he was magnificent throughout the match. While he saw less of the ball in the second half, Guimaraes still made important defensive contributions, having 3 clearances, 4 blocked shots, 2 interceptions, and 4 tackles. Both Nick Pope and Bruno Guimaraes made significant contributions to Newcastle's performance. While Alexander Isak's first-ever Champions League goal, in his 5th game in the competition, meant he became the first Newcastle player to score away from home in the Champions League since Alan Shearer in 2003.
Your first Champions League goal, was that a proud moment for you?
Yeah, that's a proud moment for me. Didn't score my first 2 games, so it was a big goal for me.
The result now means there is all to play for in game week 6. Before Mbappe's equalizer, Newcastle provisionally had their fate in their own hands. Now, though, they need to beat Milan and hope Dortmund can do them a favor against PSG.
Boys tonight.
Yeah, and we're still in it, and I think that's another thing we can't forget. We easily could have come here tonight and not be in the competition anymore, and then we're playing the last game, becomes a dead one.
Yeah.
We still believe we go to St James's Park against a very good Milan team, and you never know what can happen in the other tie. So as much as it's a huge deflating feeling now, it could just turn to be another story in our season.
Then, Yankuba Minteh, the 19-year-old Newcastle player on loan at Feyenoord, shined against Athletico Madrid in the Champions League. In spite of the loss, Minteh showed that he is a special talent. Against Athletico Madrid, he played 64 minutes, had 19 out of 22 accurate passes, 57 touches, 8 touches in opposition box, 8 out of 10 successful dribbles, 3 out of 4 tackles won, and 12 ground duels won. Yankuba Minteh completed the most dribbles, 8, in the match, the 3rd highest total in the UEFA Champions League group stage behind Lang and Martinelli. So the question is, should Newcastle United recall him in January? Then, in other Newcastle United news, according to the latest exclusive from Football Insider, Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace have set their sights on the talented Jacob Murphy. These clubs have wasted no time in making inquiries about his price tag and availability as the new year approaches. Despite currently nursing a shoulder injury and being unable to play, Murphy's exceptional recent performances have caught the attention of both Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace. In fact, Eddie Howe, Newcastle's manager, is a massive admirer of Murphy's skills, which further fuels speculation about his potential departure, unless it would be a move accepted by Newcastle due to financial fair play like that of Alain Saint-Maximin. I have reason to believe that Murphy will remain a loyal Magpie, at least for now. Not only is he a lifelong Newcastle fan, but he is also relishing every moment of his footballing career, with the exception of the unfortunate injury setback. Murphy has had the privilege of representing the club he loves in the prestigious Champions League, and whenever he is fit, he is an integral part of the team's lineup. Murphy wouldn't trade this incredible experience for a mid-table Premier League club, no matter how respectable they may be. However, with January just around the corner and financial fair play in action, the suspense will build as fans eagerly await to see if Newcastle United will hold firm and retain their prized asset, or will one of these rival clubs manage to lure Murphy away. Then finally, according to reports, Newcastle United has made a significant move in the transfer battle for Radu Dragusin, a one-time Juventus centre-back, who, according to Fabrizio Romano, they were reportedly scouting earlier this month. Florin Mania, Dragusin's agent, had previously confirmed that he was in London for talks with several interested parties, including Newcastle United, Arsenal, and Tottenham Hotspur. It appears that Newcastle's pursuit of Dragusin has progressed positively, as they are reported to be the first team to act on their interest. According to Romanian publication Digi Sport, Newcastle has submitted a written offer to Dragusin's camp and is willing to meet Genoa's £26 million asking price. If the deal goes through, Dragusin would become the most expensive Romanian footballer of all time, surpassing Adrian Mutu's record held for the past 20 years. However, the competition for Dragusin's signature is not over yet. Genoa could potentially spark a bidding war, as Arsenal, Tottenham, and West Ham are also interested in the talented young defender. The involvement of Dan Ashworth, Newcastle's chief, could prove decisive, as Mania shares a strong relationship with Ashworth from their time working together at West Brom. If Newcastle successfully secures Dragusin's signing, it would mark the conclusion of their long-standing pursuit of a right-sided centre-half. The 21-year-old defender could form a formidable partnership alongside Sven Botman in the coming years, allowing Newcastle to plan for the future without relying heavily on the more experienced duo of Fabian Schär and Jamal Lascelles. Florin Gardos, a former Romanian footballer, praises Dragusin's physicality and aerial ability, noting that he has good experience despite his young age. Gardos suggests that the potential move to Newcastle would be more favorable for Dragusin than joining Arsenal, where he believes the presence of William Saliba could make it more challenging for Dragusin to secure playing time. However, Gardos acknowledges that Dragusin has the ability to play at a high level and that the final decision will depend on various factors.